Welcome back from the break, in case you've just joined us. Now, guys, first and foremost, you do not have to have sex. We are in a country,
well,
and I'll tell you why. Listen,
but people are having sex.
Yes,
yeah, but they don't have to.
Who has ever died?
What do you mean by that statement?
Guys, listen, who has ever died from not having sex?
Yeah.
People have died from having sex.
But people are having sex.
We are in a country, we are in the second youngest country in this world.
It's not like the thing will explode.
We have a population that is growing, that is out of control.
No, don't ask me.
Because people are like thinking like Colin, they think they must have sex.
No.
And they, because I must have sex, that's what I'm thinking. Whether I can afford protection or not, I don't care. I'm just going to have sex.
And that's why I say that we are dealing with the problem the wrong way.
Yes.
You know, the reason why it worked in the 90s is because you are aggressive. You saying that you don't have to have sex, it is happening.
The people on the dinosaurs bench will back me up.
The dinosaurs, you are alone.
Stefan called me a dinosaur, so you're with me now. And I think what Stefan has been trying to explain but doesn't have the wherewithal to explain is that when he keeps saying aggressive, the approach to HIV in the 90s was very different. Anyone who grew up in the 90s, if you saw the posters, I think the approach was a scare tactic.
It was in your
Show
face.
people what it is like to have HIV and people will fear. So a lot of people who grew up in the 80s, who are now in their mid-30s and their 40s, saw those images and said, you know what, this thing is real. So they didn't.
They did not just see the images, they even saw the people.
Yeah. They saw the people. They were shown images.
And people like
and somewhere along the way, and this is where you professionals come in, the public health experts said, fear tactics don't work. When you communicate to people, people don't relate to the fear. So you must come back to the benefits. So the communication strategy kind of changed, and it became about it became a very positive message. Which is what he's saying. He's saying it was aggressively dealt with, which means there was negative fear messaging, and now the strategy has changed. But because it has changed, we're now seeing things that are falling through the cracks.
Colin, just right there, building onto what you're saying, the strategy that was actually working was a lifestyle messaging. To say, if this is your lifestyle,
then you're going
this is what you need to do. If this is your lifestyle, this is what you need to do. If that's your lifestyle, this is what you need to do. Then in comes in, I don't know who these people were, okay? And they throw everything lifestyle messaging out of the window, and they say there is this magic bullet, okay? If you circumcise your...
Come on, there are other things. It's
No. Let me tell you, Peter. Peter, I can tell you that one thing in the villages, I don't know about in the city here. If you go to the villages and you talk to men about safe male circumcision, they'll tell you, I mean, the guy even sits back and he's sits like Chris.
I think he's raising a valid point that people sometimes get, they get comfortable after getting circumcised. But as I said,
it's not safe.
It's not
safe.
But you know, I wanted even to simplify it further. Because we said 60 men out of 100.
Teach us your ways, oh master.
But we are looking at 10 men exposed. 6 will get infected. Only so will survive.
6 will
survive.
Yeah.
4 will survive.
4 out of every 10
will survive. That is the truth. So I think what he's saying is sometimes that message has not been given when people are circumcised. They are not actually told that although you have been circumcised, if 10 of you get exposed, you might be among the 4
who
that
could
won't
get
survive.
infected.
And when you put it like that, many people will say, no, I can't go if I know 4 of us.
Which actually, you know, you've actually hit on a very interesting point. Could the challenge in the fight against HIV/AIDS and containing it be actually like, forget about all the communication, the scare tactics and all that, simply in counseling? Because I get tested regularly, and I can not remember the last time I went for a test and I got pre-testing counseling. Colin, there's actually nothing wrong with this.
Because I can't believe you just said that the solution to the HIV problem.
No, I'm asking a question, and I'll tell you where I'm going.
And you know, that's what I was saying, you know, we send the kids...
Yes, just wait, just see where I'm going with this. Because I cannot remember when I got pre-testing counseling. So, to a lot of people, even if I go and get tested, exactly like you're talking about male circumcision, shouldn't there be pre-male circumcision counseling where before I get circumcised, I'm explained to, even for the guy in the village, the guys get it. You can't say because the guy is in the village, he's not going to get anything. No. And there are also very many uneducated people in town also. So I'm educated before that and told, look, you see, all right, fair enough, you're getting circumcised, but it's not a through pass. It doesn't mean that this is going to happen to you. You're going for your HIV test. You come out positive. You come out negative. Either way, you get counseled. If you are positive, you're told, all right, you know what, you're positive. However, there is a good way of living. Now you're going to have to go on ARVs. Take actually more care of yourself. Think about investing in your family. Same thing. Because you see, the bottom line is, currently, there is a challenge with our communication. And people are still making wrong choices. They have to make the right choice.
But Peter, I just need to say to you...
I was asking.
Yes, okay, please answer. Please.
Yeah, you see, I think there is what we call, when we single out male circumcision alone and we talk about it, it actually doesn't make sense
at all
on its own.
Yes.
But there is what we call combination prevention. So that the prevention of HIV cannot stand on one, except maybe if it is abstinence. You can abstain and be sure you can't get HIV.
Could you please say that again?
Yes, for those who say
just
you
for
can't
emphasis.
Yes. This is not scientific, my friend. It's an opinion.
No, Colin needs to hear.
But you'll still be here with me.
But maybe for abstinence, we can really believe that someone who is abstaining full time cannot get infected. But the other interventions, condoms, circumcision, you still can get exposed in some way. And that's why, therefore, circumcision comes in to complement the other interventions that can help prevent. So that even if it's not 100% effective, even if you cannot be protected 100%, at least you are protected 60%. You might be one of the 6 people who may actually be safe.
Colin, say your piece,
until you have the entire package of prevention together, you are not talking about prevention.
Absolutely.
But Stefan, just before we
I think the dynamics also have to change the way you approach it. The other day, I watched this lady on national TV, and I listened to her on radio, and she was saying that men are holding back Uganda when it comes to going for testing. And now, what I wanted to ask, don't you think that that we should, you as a person who's in charge in that sector, don't you think that you should change the dynamic in that the way you approach men, how you encourage men to go for testing?
And I think that's true. That's true. I think he said he has been testing, but possibly other men around here may not be going. Once they know their wife has been pregnant and has tested, then they say, oh, what was it? And that's the attitude of so many men in the country. And it may not be scientific. So I don't say there is a study that I've seen, but I know that men have ways of trying to evade that. But I think what should be done is actually to take, like government says, taking services to the people. I think the testing services need to go where men are in the community, where they are doing their work.
Boss, I'm sorry.
That's his opinion. That's his opinion. Now, guys, we've reached that.
Because why I'm saying that is that there is that complaint already, as you are saying, that men are not testing.
Yeah, men are not testing.
Yeah,
And
but you know yourself
Let
that
the
even
man
if
finish.
no wait,
Let's be
Peter,
honest.
no,
Who
no,
will
let's
go
talk
for
about it.
testing
Even
when your
so
woman
you
is
see,
safe?
the problem is for men is even if you bring that testing thing
This is
here,
like
if a guy
Ugandan
doesn't want to
elections.
do it, you know it.
You don't do it, and now we say that your woman is safe. Your woman is safe, right?
Now, guys, unfortunately, I know there's still a lot of energy and quite a lot going on, but we have
There
reached
are too
that point
many
when
myths with this thing, man.
Yeah,
We need
I'm
another
sure
show.
We're going to have another continuation about it because we've literally had a chance to talk about one myth, and that is male circumcision. So
Another one is testing,
and also
bringing
testing.
the equipment near.
There's a myth of testing.
Breathe in, breathe out, according to him. So what I'll do is this, guys, because we do have to wrap up. In 1 minute, I'm going to ask you, Colin, I'm going to give you 2, because I know you've been burning to say a lot, and somehow everybody keeps jumping on you, but you started it. Your parting shot.
I think the approach has to change. This whole idea of sending the kid to the naughty corner does not work. Chiboko is what we need right now. You need to be aggressive. You need to tell people that, you need to tell young kids in as low as 10 years, I know, he gets really aggravated when I say 10 years. You need to start telling them that if you don't do this, this will happen. And that's how you deal with it.
Mine is very simple. We're talking about HIV/AIDS and the myths around it. And I think that there's very many myths. This show is not long enough for us to cover all the ground or for us to fully express ourselves. But what I think is very clear is that along the way, we lost track of what was helping this country. And I think that what was helping this country in our fight against HIV was talking about lifestyle choices. When we talk lifestyle, you're talking to everyone across generations, whether you're talking to millennials or people who are not. You're talking about the fact that, look, if you choose this lifestyle, this is how you get exposed, this is how you can protect yourself or whatever. If you want to, like he said, if you want to absolutely be safe, this is the kind of lifestyle you want to have, etc, etc. And I know that there is risk as long as we get engaged in sex. And by the way, sex is not the only way people contract HIV, which there still are other ways. If the instruments that are not well treated in the hospitals, you can catch HIV, sharing of sharp objects and all that stuff. That stuff is still real. It's not just sex, right? So the thing is that it's lifestyle. If we just go back to the lifestyle conversation and say, look, if say, for example, if you're a husband, be faithful to your wife, sleep with only your wife, and then you minimize the chances of exposure for you or your wife.
Combination prevention. I think that if you're going to look at it, I think it's very interesting to have this conversation, especially because Obulamu, the sponsor for the show, actually has a combined approach to discussing the case against HIV. So it's not just about preventing people who don't have it. It's about also preventing the people who have it from spreading it. It's about getting discordant couples on medication. It's about people getting tested. It's about people using condoms or people abstaining or, you know, those kind of things. And I think that the conversation has to be around that combined approach. And that when you think about it, so maybe, I think that if you're really looking to create a market difference, then circumcision falls quite, it falls quite down there in the things to be done. So that's what I wanted to say. I think that it's a combination of things. And if you're looking at a whole, if you're not looking at an individual, look at a community where people have a multitude of habits and behaviors and attitudes, then it cannot be one approach. It has to be a combined approach. In closing, I think that when you think about it and you find out that because of diseases like HPV, where your penis can actually fall off, people just are scared of the wrong thing. Like HIV is not the worst sexually transmitted disease out there. It's not.
I know.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
There are worse things you could die of. Please be careful.
Okay. Venancio, your parting shot as we close.
I want to start by, he mentioned Chiboko. I want to say no, Chiboko. information is power. People have to know what to do and do it. People have a responsibility. All of us have, each individual has a responsibility. Although I said services can be taken to where men are, I think still we need to give information in a way that people are empowered to actually take responsibility for their health and seek the services. Number two, the issue of testing, which has been mentioned, is that what I think is that if you test today and you test negative, you still can get infected tomorrow. Therefore, testing per se may not actually solve all the problems, but it means that I know my status now, and then I begin to plan how I want to ensure that I keep my status as is. So that, but still people, the moment one gets exposed, feels they have been exposed, it's their responsibility the next time to go and test again and again. And the answer, as you said, combination prevention, there are so many things.
Super. Thank you very, very much. It's been a very interesting discussion about HIV/AIDS and the myths around it. Definitely, we have not been able to dig into it and get out all the myths. We mainly focused around one. So we will have to have another show and talk about a few more myths. Are you one of those people who believe that you can not eat a sweet with a wrapper on and enjoy it? Those kind of things. Either way, you know what to do. It is about choices, lifestyle choices. Yes. You mentioned it. Make the right choices. You know what to do. Let's stay safe. And for those who are HIV positive, it is not a death sentence. But you also must seek counseling and also make the right choices. Life is about choices. Make the right choice because you know what it is. Don't let anybody be the one to tell you all different things about what it should be. You know what to do and do it. It could be the one that makes a difference in your life. Have a good night.